Today we're going to be looking at how you can use proportions in order to find percentages. So this question that we have here asks, what number is 40% of 16? So we want to take 16, which is a whole number, and figure out what smaller number constitutes 40% of that whole. And the important thing to remember about proportions is that you're going to have two fractions that are set equal to each other. And in those two fractions, there's going to be one unknown piece, and that's the piece that you have to solve for. So here, our unknown is, what is the part of 16 that we're looking for? With these kinds of problems, you're always going to use the same general setup. So one of your fractions is going to represent the part over the whole part of the number, and then the other one is going to represent your percent out of 100. So in this problem that we have here, we want to know what our part is. So that's going to be x. Our whole is 16, and we're looking for 40%. Now, the best way to solve these proportions is to do something called cross multiplying. So you're going to go diagonally and you're going to multiply the numbers across from each other. So if we go ahead and cross multiply here and we look at this first arrow, 100 times x is just 100x because we don't know what x is. And then looking at this second arrow, 16 times 40 turns into 640. Now this becomes a basic algebra problem. We have to solve for x. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and divide by 100, which means that x is 6.4. So this tells us that 6.4 is 40% of 16. But what's really important here is that we have to make sure, does this make sense? Always ask yourself that question. If it's anything that you're not really sure of, make sure that that answer makes sense. So first off, obviously 6.4 is less than 16, and we're looking for a number that's part of 16, so it has to be less than that. So that works out well. But the best way in this case to check this is to take your part and divide it by your whole. When you divide those, you get 0.4. And like we talked about in the last video, 0.4 is 40%. So there we go. We know that 6.4 is 40% of 16.